nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bathe. All of those tourists covered with oil, strumming my sixth string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. Don't know the reason I've stayed here all season. Nothing to show but this brand new tattoo. But it's a real beauty, a Mexican cutie. How it got here, I have not a clue. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it could be my fault. I blew on my flip-flops, stepped on the pop-top, cut my heel and to cruise on back home. But there's booze in the blender, and soon it will render. That frozen concoction that held me on. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame. Now I know it's my own damn fault. Yes, and some people claim that there's a woman to blame. Now I know it's my own